hair color as you, like dirty blonde.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the
It's
way,
weird because Mama Cookie is like super dark. Like she has black eyes, black hair. You know what I mean? She's really dark. And
by
I'm
the
more
way,
like brown hair with blue eyes. I have like
do you
gray eyes,
keep
so
like when you hairdressed your kid for the first time? Do you keep like the parts of their hair?
Mama Cookie does it sometimes. I don't. I think it's weird.
We had this tradition too, and my mom kept, the first, pick of my hair when she, cut my hair for the first time in my life, and they were super blonde.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just it's more yellow even than blonde, and
It gets darker
after
as you get older. Yeah.
after the year of 3 or 4, like the hair became darker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you keep like your first mustache and beard you after you start shaving
Yeah,
in
I
your
still
life.
have my first pube in a Ziploc bag. I cherish it. One day I'll pass it down to my children and my grandchildren. You know, they'll get the little Ziploc bag with my pube in it. It's a family tradition. Okay.
You should, create the museum of your pubes.
Museum. Hey Jesse.
Like this is the first hair I've dropped down in my pants like when I was 14, and this like when I was 16. Or create like like people used to have photo albums, and you can make your pube album.
A pube
Like
album.
each page will be for like each page stands for one photograph. You can have like the album, and it will be one hair on the one page, another hair on another page, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll be signed out like
Nice.
what date it was.
So Jab, tell me, at what age do you want to retire and enjoy retirement?
I don't know.
I'm saying ideally, what would you want? I'm not saying what will happen because it might not happen.
Well, actually, I've never thought about this.
You never
I
thought
don't
about
have,
that?
well,
I know you're not that old, but
yeah.
Jeb's like,
Well, I'm not
bro,
that
I'm not
old.
as old as you, DC. I think about
Well,
retirement already.
No.
Not yet.
Well, it's you. Well, it's a complicated question. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. That's why I'm asking. I'm interested in
Yeah.
seeing what
So
seeing what you were gonna say.
I need to think about it before answering
Mm-hmm.
because I have nothing to say right now. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody has a different, Here's the thing. When I think of retirement, I don't think I will ever retire in a way because artists never retire, Like I could still do games and draw art and somehow make a living out of it, even when I'm, really old, as long as my hands still work, and my brain still works, Like I enjoy it. Like I don't find drawing art, like painful or like something I dislike, Like I disliked a lot of jobs that I did when I was younger, when I was like a janitor or when I was like working in the kitchen or something, like when I was doing like shitty jobs, those I could see retiring from and never doing again, but doing like video games and art, it's sort of like a passion kind of, like I wouldn't want to ever completely stop doing it, but I do see myself at some point kind of doing that stuff for myself more than for people, if that makes sense,
Oh yeah, I understand.
like at my own schedule, my own time, without rushing things and just kind of doing it for fun, so I think
Yeah, I think I understand what I'm talking about. Yeah.
one day I'll be more like that, I think, so that will change, but yeah, but I'm never gonna do nothing, like I really, it would be hard for me to do like some people that's what they want to do, right? Like at 50 or 60 years old, they're like, I want to do nothing. I want to save up money and I want to get to the age of like 60 or whatever and do nothing for the rest of my life. Like just like eat shit and like watch movies and go golfing, you know what I mean? Like something like that, right?
Yeah, I
Like
understand
that's
what I'm
what
talking
some
about.
people want to do. Like that's their dream, you know. Like they want to work, save money, and then like do nothing, you know. Which is fair. Like I have a friend that's like that too. He just wants to do nothing, you know. Like no
Yeah, maybe, but
ambition, no passion
maybe.
in anything. Like just do nothing, and that's
Well, I think
okay.
like until we do something, we live. Like you start sitting on the couch every day, you're just dying literally. Even
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
alive, you're dying inside. So
Well, yeah,
we're
but some
alive.
people want that. Like you know what I mean. Like some
Well,
people.
maybe we like who we are to judge people. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
eh, I think I will do something, to the rest of my days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even it would be, for money, it would be just a hobby. Maybe it will be something like making up with my own hands. Like wood carving. Maybe I don't know. Maybe playing music. I don't know.
Yeah. Masturbating.
But
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
You said something. Do something with your hands. So I was like, okay.
So why not?
uh,
Maybe I will, someday I will earn, black belt in the masturbating.
Yeah, Straight has a good point. Work, save money, and have the option to do nothing. True. Because some people don't have that option. Like, if you don't make a lot of money and you don't have an education and there's not a lot of jobs, you you might not have that option, right? Like,
If you don't have a job, you don't have money, you have nothing to do. Like you have nothing, to how to rest in your life. But
yeah,
after you started to work, you have money, but you have no time to rest.
yeah. Well, you could go homeless and do
Yeah.
nothing, but you're
No,
homeless.
even homeless, should give their hat sometimes. So
Yeah.
you can't say just start to become a bomb and you'll
Yeah.
be free for.
Yeah, like being homeless is a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard labor to be homeless.
Yeah, well, you have
even
to
even
survive,
like alcoholic homeless.
Alcoholic homeless.
Yeah,
Shit.
because being alcoholic requires some health. It's not a sport.
Someone says my plan is to retire and have fun, go to cruises, sporting events. Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm not saying everybody that retires just sits on a couch. You know, everybody has their own thing, right? But for me, like, I don't care about watching sport events, and I don't really care about going on cruises or stuff like. To me, that's kind of it's a bit meaningless. Like, and I get it. Like, some people really like this stuff, and it's fine. Some people love traveling, like just travel, right? But for me, traveling for the sake of traveling is not that interesting. Like, it's not something I would really want to do that much.
Well, it depends about what traveling you talk. Like if you
Yeah, of course.
talking about traveling from hotel to hotel, of course it's not super funny because it's all everywhere it's the same. Like the pool, your
Yeah,
room,
yeah,
and so on.
yeah,
Like the dinner hall and so on.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Like and the hotel, like in the Turkey, looks like the hotel in Japan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you talk about traveling, meeting some people, getting familiar with the cultures and so on,
Mhm.
like and when you don't visit like big cities like the famous one, but you look on how it's called, not the deep state, but deep country, like where the people live, like in the small towns and villages and so on.
Mhm.
Maybe it's something different from traveling from hotel to the hotel.
Mhm.
So maybe traveling is good, especially when after you came back to the place you've started your trip, you can tell people about things you've seen in the world,
Mhm.
and people start to understand like maybe it's the world is much more complicated they could imagine and so on, and you can be like how it's called, the witness
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like what you've seen with your own eyes and so
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Hey Jesse, I need to marry rich. I think that's my retirement plan. Yeah, that's a great idea. I think Jap should do the same thing.
Sorry, missed the message.
You have to
What
marry
exactly?
someone who's rich.
Ah, oh, if so.
Marry a rich babushka. And then when she dies, you retire. The big problem with
Nailing
retirement.
nailing an old granny is a, a very hard labor too, I suppose.
Yeah,
So
is it? Yeah. Maybe straight,
I don't
maybe.
think I'm fit for this kind of job.
The big problem with retirement is you're old when you get there. Hiking sounds great now. But yeah, exactly. When you're old and your hip hurts, you might not want to. Yeah. True. True. That's why everybody wants to like retire at 50. Everybody wants to retire at 50 so that you're still capable of doing something. But that's a dream that not a lot of people can realize. Not everybody can retire early enough to enjoy life and still in decent shape and all that, right?
Yeah.
That's
And for
why.
example,
That's
when
why.
you like
Uh,
finish,
sorry, a lot of people say enjoy your life in the 20s and then worry about family, kids, and work and all that after, right?
well, it depends like on the life you have. For example,
Of course.
when you live in the one country, it's not the richest one. You move to another state. Studying for college. You're doing a lot of jobs. For example, doing arts. And had you got a lot of time to fun when you was about your 20s?
Did I?
Yeah, like
Not that I did, but part time. Like not a
yeah,
lot because I was busy. I was pursuing a career more, and I was dating Mama Cookie in my 20s.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So,
So
but
I
on the
did.
other hand, you bought your first house
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
was
I got a really good career. I bought my first house early when I was young,
yeah.
and I was able to have like 3 kids by the time I was like early 30s. Like 30 years old. I had like 3 kids. So like I'm not saying I really don't have any regrets. I'm just saying it's an option, right? Like, but a lot of older people in their 40s or something or like 50s, they tell people in their 20s, oh, go and have fun, right? Because some people they work in their 20s and they work in their 30s and they work in their 40s and 50s and then they realize it's like too late kind of to go travel the world and just have fun. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe it's good thing when you have money pillow under your butt and
Mm-hmm.
but there are a lot of people who are running like the squirrel in that how's it called wheel, like walking,
Mm-hmm.
walking, walking
Yeah.
all the years like they live and
Forever.
so like at the end, in the end they still nothing. They have the credit for their home. They have a credit for their car and
Yeah. Yeah.
like even they worked about half of their life and
Mm-hmm.
they still didn't hadn't got a lot
You know what,
in
Jab?
there.
You're
So
right. I'm gonna stop working on Summertime Saga and go travel the world.
yeah,
Thanks. You convinced
of
me.
course. It's I always tell you, just drop it the fuck down for a month. Go to the trip. Go to the vacation. So stop drawing. Just give it the
All
tech
right, guys.
update.
You know what?
Yeah.
Jab convinced me. Bye, everyone.
Stop the stream right now. Put your pencil down. Take a
Oh
fat
no.
and come back
Oh no.
in next month.
Tech update never coming out. What have you done, Jab? What have you done?
Okay, guys, why are you mad at me? You will not get the tech update in next 6 months. Anyway, even he's sitting on his butt every day and keep walking, like
Yeah,
you will not
yeah.
get the tech
It
update and
never
tomorrow
happened.
or the next day.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't even exist. It's like a dream.
Yeah, sure.
So why block me from?
You will not lose like a big thing
Yes.
if he will go for the vacation for a
Exactly.
month or two.
Yeah.
So don't blame me, please.
My aunt says I should save my money to travel too. Yeah. I guess when I'm retired, I'm playing this, I go, yeah, true. Russians aren't like that much right now. Don't make it worse. Oh, shit. Not all Russians, okay? Come on. Jab is not a part of the war consul on, on
Yeah.
the leader's office.
So fucked up.
But things will get things will be okay again eventually. Okay, it'll be all right.
Yeah, we just have to hope
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Yeah. So Jab, you're not traveling anywhere, are you?
No, I wasn't, a big traveler like ever, because I've traveled, through my country a bit. So I've been, in a couple of regions, like from the south and like as far as I was born in the like in the north region. I came like in the traveled in the central, like the historical, maybe some kind of the the heartland. So I've been a couple of times on the south, on the
How
Caucasus
far?
Mountains.
Sorry, how far east have you gotten in Russia?
East,
Yeah.
well, close to Estonian border.
Which border?
It's like the Baltic Sea, Baltic Sea states. Small countries like Lithuania, Estonia, and so on. I was close to the Estonia border.
But that's not the
Like,
very east, is
It's
it?
nowhere, but yeah, I've been in Czech, I've been in Finland, and so on. But there was, it were, like 1 week trips.
Yeah, but that's west.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
maybe in
right.
what? How do you say
I
west and
misheard you, I
east in
misheard you,
Russian?
Sorry. Yeah.
How do you say?
Yeah, I've been on. No. I wasn't, very, far to the east. But one of my dreams is came to the Baikal Sea.
Yeah.
Oh, so Baikal Lake, like to see like what's it about. But I have been to, like it's the how's it called in English? Sorry, forgot. It's the area between the Volga and Urals.
The vulva? Vulva is a
Volga,
different
Volga
thing
River.
in English.
Yeah, Volga River.
Volga? Yeah, I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
yes, it's the east to the Volga River and to the west of Urals mountains. I've been in there, Once
Yeah.
it was, about 5 day trip, but
Yeah.
I love that. Unfortunately, I haven't been, in the wildlands in there because I've just, visited towns and so on, like visited friends and, relatives in there. Well, I haven't, got an ability to travel like with the tent and so on.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's next door to the Kazakhstan, but a little bit to the north.
Because Russia is huge, right?
Not as huge. It's like the Mercator's map. It's like the projection of, the
look at my
surface of
screen,
the
okay?
sphere.
Look at my screen, okay?
Yeah.
Have you ever been? Hold on.
No.
Have
No.
you ever
No.
been- Have you ever been to? Oh my God, how do you spell this? Welen Yabe? Yabe?
So I don't
Welen?
Wellen. No. Of course not.
Welen?
No.
You never been there? You never been to this little
No, of
point
course
here?
not.
Why not? Why don't you take? Why don't you take your bicycle?
Oh, yeah, sure. No. I should not take the bicycle. I should, take my skis because we still have it snowing here right now. So I just take my skis and travel there.
Okay, but has there ever been anyone in Russia, okay, as a hobby, like a thing they want to accomplish in their life, taking a walk or a bike all the way across Russia, all the way to this point here?
I had a person like my the colleague of my dad. He traveled from the city I was born to St. Petersburg on the bicycle.
Right
Like
here.
when he had a vacation, he took his tent, he called the bicycle, and he spent about 2 weeks traveling from the north, that peninsula near Sweden.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, and he came to St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So, but he was a big fan of bicycles and so on.
So, Jab, I have a question. Be honest, okay?
Okay.
If I travel to St. Petersburg, I take a plane, I fly to St. Petersburg, okay? And then when I get there, I hitchhike, with my thumb up on that side of the road, right? And I ask little people to like give me rides all the way here, okay, to Welen, right? Should I fear for my life on this trip, ever?
Yeah, sure, because you should have some food with you, because I don't want you to die from hunger during the long trip.
And I
So,
speak no
also, I don't
Russian.
want you to give a hat for a hamburger during the trip.
DC arrested as a spy.
Yeah,
Just some guy
so-
speaks English only in Russia, hitchhiking. Come on. Do you think how long would it take me to get all the way here? A long time.
I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks only? That's
Yeah,
not too bad.
I know that the train from Moscow to the Korean border, to the city of Vladivostok, that's close to
Yeah,
Korean border,
here,
takes
yeah.
about 12 days, if I remember well.
Oh, so you could take a train from here
Yeah, sure.
all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the road here. There's like a road that goes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
at the south.
Trans-Siberian Railway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
road.
Yeah. So
It goes through all the southern Siberia and so on. And I've heard that, a couple of years ago, the Russian railway company, they created like the train with, how it's called, like the train with, two stages, like two.
But
Sorry, I'm just, get a block in my head. I forgot how to say that.
is there any
Sorry.
towns in the middle of? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
towns.
Yeah, it's very, it's very close to the Canada. Like all the Canadians live.
Yeah, but in Canada, if
you
you
know-
go up north, there's like not really anything.
Yeah. So mostly all of the Canadians, live on the thin,
The south.
line.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, south. Same for
Russia.
Siberia. Like
Yeah.
mostly all the Siberians people, live in the south regions. But there are also a lot of people, living in the north of it.
Would you visit
Is-
Mongolia?
Sure, why not?
I think that'd be cool
Why
to
not?
visit Mongolia. No?
Yeah. Well, maybe I will try to go there, but I need to buy another bike because my one is, not
Wait, a
Very,
motorcycle or a bicycle?
motorcycle.
Because a bicycle is a
I
long
wanted to
ride.
travel Europe on my motorcycle, but I was, looked in it, like checked it up at the, repair station, and I thought maybe I should, shouldn't do that because I don't want to die somewhere in the Europe, and I will, have only my boots to travel with.
I didn't realize how close North Korea was to Mongolia, to be honest. It's not that far. And China is right in between.
Yeah.
Wait, does China border a lot of Russia?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, there's like a little point right here too. In the mountains. And then here there's a lot actually. More than I thought there was. There's actually a lot here. Huh.
Mostly all of the Russian-Chinese border is located
You know how
place you're looking right now.
Yeah, sorry. You know how North Korea has those trips you can go to, right? To visit,
Yeah, I've heard that.
Would you do that?
Well, if I will have, some free time and money, why not?
I wonder how much it costs to go visit North Korea. I know what sucks though is that it's kind of like a trip that's all planned for you. Like you can't really stray off and like, do your own thing, right? I'm pretty sure they like follow you around all the time. But it'd be cool. Look how crazy the difference with South and North Korea, like in terms of roads, even just infrastructure. That's insane. There's like a million roads in South Korea, and then North is
Please
just like.
don't forget that North Korea is living with a lot of economical sanctions, and no one trades with her
Yeah.
since like 1960s. And South Korea, became like the trade post for U.S. and Japan. So that's why they have that Samsung and so on, like economical, how this called, like the prodigy, so on.
It's pretty wild.
And even when you the detailed one, you will see like the fertile lands are located on the South Korea mostly, and North Korea doesn't have much even rivers to create the electricity stations for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Carla,
just
no, I have
it
not
just
seen it.
rocks, poor soils and so on.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Jab. Okay, so let's
Okay.
say you're Russian, right? You're a Russian citizen, okay? You take
Okay.
the train all the way to Vladivostok, okay?
Yeah.
And then you rent a car, okay? You take a little car, you go and you go down like this all the way to the North Korean border. Can you just enter North Korea if you wanted to?
No, I think like they have some visa system. So
Visa,
you need to like go to the North Korea.
If you want to
Get up
shot.
some.
No,
Yeah.
but straight, I'm
Permission
asking
to
because I'm
that.
assuming North Korea has a better relation with Russia and Russians than they have with people from elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, I think like Chinese are number one for them, maybe.
More than Russia.
Yeah, more than Russia.
So you think if you're like a Chinese citizen, it's easier to enter North Korea?
Maybe, but we can, just, we can be sure. We need to check it out because I don't know actually how it works in there.
Yeah.
I don't know about the relationship of North Koreans and Chinese and so on, and just like 90% of all news we hear about North Korea coming from the South Korean.
Yeah. So
So
if
it
me
can
and
be
you
not
went to the
trusted
border
100%.
here, if me and you went to the border here with our passports, right? One Somalian and one Russian, you don't think they would let us in, right?
Oh, wait, 5 seconds. You still have the Somalian passport?
Yeah. You don't think they would let us in?
But all your kids and wife like are American citizens.
But listen, we're just there with our passports, and we just say, "Please let us in." We're just tourists. You don't think they would let us in? They'd be like, "No, go away."
No, I think they don't. We need to pick up some special permission and like in their embassy. But
Okay,
but
listen,
it will
but
say,
Jab,
like,
Jab, wait. What if I have a few American dollars in my pocket, and you have a carton of like Russian cigarettes, and we give that to the guy at the border? Like, come on, let us
No,
in.
I think that will not work.
No?
I think we should say that we are political refugees and like we need to hide out in the North Korea, like the most
we're
free
escaping
and,
our life in the
most
West.
democracy country in the world. We trying to run back from the Russian government and American government, and I'm sure that will work with 100%.
Yeah. We're
Yeah, we should
refugees
say that
from
we are political
refugees from
refugees.
America going to North Korea.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe if you say like you want to destroy America, you just came out of there, and maybe they will give you some post like in the Ministry of Korean Defense, or something like that.
Yeah, they'll accept me and use me as like
Or maybe
propaganda.
became you like the consul, like the diplomacy one guy.
Yeah. Okay. I think we spent too much time on this. I gotta go back to work. Whenever I talk about like geography and I look at the world map, I can't stop. I waste too much time. I get excited. Like it's too much. Too much potential.
By the way, do you need some kind of permission, for example, travel from U.S. to Mexico or Canada? Or you just can cross the border with the passport?
You can cross the border, but you have to tell them like what's your reason of traveling and stuff
Okay.
like that.
So you just have to declare it on the border to the border officer, nothing more.
Yeah, like if you're in the U.S., you can go at the border of Mexico and just say, "Oh, I'm going to Cancun," or "I'm just driving to like there to like on a vacation," and it's fine.
And
They-
does
they
it
might
work?
search- they
Does
might
it work
search your-
backwards?
They will search your car maybe, like if they want to just make sure.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of times they don't even search or anything. They just let you go and that's it.
Does it work like backwards? For example, if I'm a Mexican citizen, I want
I think it's harder if you're Mexican trying to get into the U.S. Yeah.
what's the joke of the Taco Bell stray? I don't get it.
I'm not a Mexican, so I've never tried to cross into the U.S. from in Mexico, but I'm pretty sure it's
How
harder.
could you say that you are non-Mexican? You fake, the best Mexican accent I've ever heard.
Dream Blue, yeah. We'll be able to.
But I saw all the seasons of Breaking Bad, and I can say like your Mexican accent, it's pretty good.
Jesse, yeah, we got the boob planet, the dick ships, and the boob aliens, and the sperm. Yeah, you got all of it on the wall. Yeah. And you fell asleep during the stream? Wow.
I'm looking on that, green machine, and seek when you will add the street combat minigame.
You used to be able to cross both borders with just a driver's license, but you need of course you need a passport. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, but that's all you need. You need a passport, and like they might ask you, what's your reason of like visiting or whatever, and that's it.
Okay, if we will imagine like you will finish the game someday, and you will earn good money.
Yeah.
So you would there will be no reason you to walk anymore. Like all your kids will have money for colleges and so on.
Yeah.
Like, and you will be able to do whatever. Like you said, you will still draw something.
Yeah.
But what it will be like? Maybe you'll open up your school, like drawing for kids, like or something. Or you will, working in the industry, or like what would you do?
I think
Like if you imagine.
I don't know, honestly. I think I don't know. I think I'm gonna teach my kids maybe how to draw if they're interested. And I don't know, maybe continue making games, but at my own like pace and my own. But I like to draw comic books too, so maybe illustrated novels and
Oh, okay.
you know.
And when you'll become, older, when your kids
When
start their own families, like,
then I'm just gonna do gardening and
oh,
pottery.
so you'll drop down the drawings?
I will, but I'll draw my kids. You know, I'll do like drawings of them,
Ah,
maybe,
yeah,
like stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's too early to say, but I don't know. Maybe something like that. Who knows?
By the way, are you a successful gardener?
Yeah, I'm very good at gardening, and I'm very good at pottery. Well, very good is not, but I'm okay.
Yeah, because playing, that film with the Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, of course. me and Mama Cookie, before Summertime Saga, I used to work in the city, and on Friday nights we would go to like a pottery class together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
And we would do pottery together. It was a lot of fun. Like we had a good time doing that. It was funny. And we would always joke about that movie when we would go and do pottery together. It was funny.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah. So yeah. But
By the way, when you create like something like a dish,
Yeah.
make of the pot, when you burn in the oven,
Yeah.
do they crack?
The kiln? No, it didn't crack. No.
Because I've tried, a couple of times to do that, but after, I've taken it out of the oven, just, start to use it, and in the 30 minutes, it's all with the crash and...
It's the Russian clay.
Uh,
it's too hard. It's hard like iron and anvil,
yeah. So you mean I need to purchase someone from the US?
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had problems with cracking, but yeah. What I used to do in my classes for pottery, I used to do a lot of like teapots and like tea cups and cups in general, and it was a lot of fun. Like I remember enjoying it a lot. So I don't know.
So do you use any dishes in your kitchen, like the dishes you created with your own hands?
Yeah, I had some, but Mama Cook. I mean, listen. I'm not that good at it, so some of them were like a little not perfect, or not that great anyway. And eventually one day I'm like, Mama Cookie, where's my mug? I was making some coffee. I'm like, I wanted my mug that I made, with my own pottery. And she's like, oh, I threw them out. And I was so sad that she threw out all my pottery one day, because she's like, oh, but come on, it's old and it's not that well done, and blah blah blah. I should tell her to explain why she did it to you one day. She can come in stream and like explain herself. But I still blame her for throwing out all my all my pottery.
Yeah, I could imagine like the coffee became 2 times more tasty when you drink it out from the mug you created with your own hands.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. So I still give her shit for that every time I think about it, and we laugh about it. But yeah. So I used to. But anyway, yeah. When I'm old, I'm gonna do pottery, gardening, and maybe some comic books or some like illustrated novels, or maybe a game. We'll see.
Will it be another rank pie game?
No, it'll be something different probably. And
don't
get me wrong, I like Summertime Saga, but I'll try something different probably. Yeah, just for variety, You don't want to be doing the same thing forever, You want to try things differently sometimes. Yeah. So we'll see.
Do you have any plans like what the Summertime Saga will be, like in the end?
Yeah, I know. Kind of. I have a vision of what I want the game to be like when it's all done. Yeah.
I hope this vision includes street combat minigame.
It definitely is gonna have a bowling minigame.
I really don't understand. You already have the working mechanics. You already mentioned street combat in the Eve story.
Yeah.
And you refuse to have you have Maze minigame on the MC's PC, and you refuse to create some street combat. I just don't get it.
Well, how would you do the street combat?
Okay, so you have fighting minigame, like when MC have a fight with the Dexter or with the Dmitri. So when you, for example, like the characters of Street Combat minigame could be, how it's called. Like you can, press the same buttons that the game asks you to press, for example, when you're having a fight with the Dexter Dmitry. So
Yeah, but we have some of that already across the game. Like the main story with the bad Russian guys.
yeah. Because I would be honest with you, because it's like one of the reasons I want you to bring it back is also the way to bring back that, ex-mafia boss. Do you remember, like, I've asked you to, to save his life?
Which one?
The guy with in the white
Oh,
jacket and red shirt.
the
Like,
old
I will
old.
tell, like, the chat before Cookie started, to add politicians in the game, like Kim, Trump, and the Putin.
Yeah.
There was, the mafia boss, the old one. You could see his photo picture on the Janice PC. He was, shaking hands with Frank.
Yeah.
And I don't know how did DC knew that or he didn't, but he hit the bullseye. It was the 100% pure distillated non-GMO Russian mobster of 1990s. It was one of the best images of classical Russian criminal boss. Like
More
even how we see that.
more than the Putin.
And yeah. But when
caricature.
you started to add the politicians and make
Yeah.
laugh out of them,
Yeah.
I've asked DC a lot of times, like, could you please save that character?
Yeah.
It was it was 200% like the real mafia boss, and DC say no, just I need to to put Putin
Well,
like
I
this
didn't
time.
need to. I just thought I just
I'm
didn't.
trying to persuade him, like, with a lot of a lot of times, like I say, okay, I don't mind, to be put in the game, because DC first he thought like I was, trying to prevent it. Like I don't want Putin to be,
Yeah, I
locked
asked
onto the
Jab first.
game.
I'm like, is this gonna be
Yeah, and I
offensive?
said, like,
Like,
hey, you can do everything with the Putin. You can make it, Ram's, butler, Ram's servant,
Yeah.
anyone. Just keep please that mafia boss, because he's one of the best images
Okay,
you've
but
ever
where would he
created.
fit
Like,
in the story now? You know?
yeah. So, but the street combat could be the place where that mafia boss could be the playable character. When just launch the game, pick up the character you will fight with, and he can be the guy you will use, because like first of all, I just like that character, like the image of that big bold muscular guy with a scar on his face and so on.
Yeah.
And also it could be the representation of that characters from real life fighting games, like Zangief from Street Fighter, who's also Russian and who also looks same like the big muscle guy. Also, it's Potemkin from Guilty Gear. If you've played this, the anime 2D fighting minigame, one of the best fighting I've ever played. And there is the same guy, with the Russian surname, big muscle machine.
More bruises here. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So, if there would be like a mini game when you just pick up fighters, like, like everyone puts, the homage of the Bruce Lee, the homage of maybe Jackie Chan or still like Jean-Claude Van Damme in there. But if there will be an homage to all that, Russian, fighting characters like Zangief or Potemkin from, Street Fighter, and so on, like that mafia boss you've created a long time ago could fit it, very well.
Okay, maybe.
And I just love minigames.
See, did you hear that, Stray?
Yeah, I love when
He's
it's
the
not
boss at
about
the
like all
arcade or the
minigames,
museum.
but yeah,
but
when you
where could he be a boss at the museum?
sorry, what about museum?
She says that Jesse says that maybe he's the boss at the arcade or the museum. What kind of boss at the museum?
Okay, maybe
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
satisfied with that too. I just love the character, and I love the way DC
Time
hit the bullseye. Maybe he did. I bet like he didn't know like how they that classical Russian axe mob looks like, but suddenly he created the character that looks like him. So, because the guys in the black suits are mostly how Americans see Russian mafia. Like all that characters from GTA 4 and so on, about like a lot of criminal and action movies from 90s and so on. But this guy in in the red shirt and white jacket, he was created like in the way we see them. When I saw him first time, like in the early versions, like it was about 0.14 or maybe 0.12. I don't remember exactly. Maybe even 0.11.
Yeah,
I was just,
think it was
oh,
earlier
what the
than that,
fuck?
yeah.
First of all, I thought you have someone from Russia, like in your dev team.
Ruski.
Yeah. So I didn't even realize like the guy who's not super familiar with with the modern culture could represent it so well.
Yeah.
So that's why I want you to keep going. Especially like when like the image of this guy is already.
Jab?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, sorry, we were losing you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe
It's
the
okay.
Discord, busting the balls sometimes.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
And I love like mini game activity when I can launch the game and play the game inside the game.
Dizzy, aren't you one bicycle short? What do you mean? Will we ever get to see anything with Jenny's friend from the library? Yeah, the librarian. Yeah, she's gonna have some content eventually. She's kind of like a minor character similar to Consuela, She's gonna have something similar.
Oh, Dizzy, can you explain like I'm with no joking like what about that Native American girl and the Boy Scout chief?
What do you mean?
Like you said that if the Native American character, like the Native American girl, would be like the Boy Scout or the Girl Scout chief. I know how it's called, like the person who leads like
the
lessons of the scouting.
That's kind of racist.
Yeah, why? Can you explain? Really?
You know what? Let's talk to Sploosh about this, okay? Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, Sploosh, can you come in voice chat?
I'm just not familiar with all that, racist stuff and just, funny, national stereotype, like nothing offensive, but especially after, evil Russians, that, man Tony, so
yeah,
I can understand like one thing is offensive and other thing is not.
This is totally not a trap.
So why can't she, ask MC for, go out for,
okay, but why do you think
the woods with the tent and so on, spend the night in there,
okay, but
under the stars.
Is it under the stars? In a teepee?
Why not?
In a teepee.
What?
Okay, so Jab, ask the question to Sploosh.
Hello, Sploosh. Oh, sorry for interrupting. It was Dizzy's idea to drag you in, not mine.
Man, I know he wants to give me a hard time.
Yeah, because I've said like the thanks DC that he added, the Native American girl, all the lots of fans, asked him to do, and including me, and like I sent him like as far as a lot of people in the world know that classical American school stuff like cheerleading and school sports teams, they also know that stuff like Boys and Girl Scouts, like they're very famous, people know that, so maybe like Somerville School can have these, I know how it's called, lessons of scouting and so on.
Like a summer camp, like Boy Scouts.
Well, I don't know how it works. Like does it belong to the school or maybe it's another place? So and ask him like, could the Native American girl will be like the leader in there? Like she will,
teach you how to make a
Yeah,
fire.
teach kids in there, and like she's Native American, she can be familiar with the wild nature, or maybe like her grandparents and parents told her some tricks about that, so it can be suit with her story and so on. This is say no, it's racist, and I couldn't get it. I tried, but I couldn't.
So explain to Jab why that's racist. As someone from born and bred American, right?
Yeah.
Explain that to a Russian guy. Go.
Jeez. So, DC, you're more equipped to explain this than I am, because where you are in the world,
Yeah.
like Native American culture is more prevalent than it is where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Continue.
But okay, I guess it's just that like it's become like the thing that people think about with Native Americans is like, oh, they're all spiritual and all about nature and stuff like that. And so it's kind of racist to just like, if we have one Native American character in the game, to just make her that. Like, oh, I'll teach people how to make tents and build campfires and hunt and stuff like that. And it's like, as a Native American person, they're like, well, that's not really what we do. It's really fucked up to.
Oh, really? So the second question. On the other hand, you have Jesus with the boner. You have evil Russians. Like, you have. I'm not saying about that. Oh wait, Tammy, like who's 100% Jewish and so on. So, isn't it like hypocrisy and double standards? To make love. All the racist stereotypes with one part of people, and don't do that with another.
Yeah.
So.
I think
it is, Jab. You're
Yeah.
right, but some things are more sensitive.
Yeah.
At this point in history, right?
Yeah. Like making Russians the bad guys. No one, even Russians don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, whatever.
Well, mostly yes.
Mostly, yes. Okay. Maybe there are.
Well, it's
Russians
just like when you see like one more culture product when the Russians are bad, you say, oh fuck, not again.
Yeah.
You're just pretty sick of it, but it's you understand that like represented in Summertime Saga is just it's not serious. It's not like Rambo 3.
Yeah.
When it was when the people were serious about that, you understand that this is maybe it's not polite joke, but this is a joke. It's like watching South Park and being offended by this. It's stupid.
Okay.
But think back 40 years at the height of the Cold War. If this was going on, would you guys have as good a sense of humor about it as you do now?
Well, maybe. Well, I don't think like about 40 years someone saw like Rambo 3.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like 40 years ago, Russians would not have as good a sense of humor about what we did with them in Summertime Saga as they do now. Like, now it's a joke. It's kind of like that with the Native American thing, and also by extension with the hijab thing. Is like, you're right, it's hypocritical, but also those people don't have as good a sense of humor about it. Like, they don't take it as a joke. They take it as very insulting. So it's just a matter of like where we're at in history right now and how people react to that stuff.
Yeah. Pity.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not the guy from American culture. I'm just outside viewer, but I really wouldn't mind having Native American character.
Yeah.
Having some natural stuff like why not? Unfortunately.
No,
If you see some Native American people who could be offended, tell them that in here, we don't look on them in the way they could, think like.
Yeah, like for you, like a Native American girl teaching about nature is cool, and it's like interesting,
it's cool.
and it's like it's not an offensive thing. I understand. We understand that. Yeah. Like it comes from a good place when you think about it. It doesn't come from a bad place, right?
It doesn't mean like she can't do anything more except just like she doesn't know how to use toilets or how to wash her hands with the soap.
Okay.
No, or how to use the mobile phone and so on.
Oh, we get it.
Yeah, so.
But at the same time, I think it's cool to have a different take on that, right? And not go the stereotypical route and have a Native American girl that's like super techie and very smart and very cool and stuff. Like, I think that'll be neat to do.
DC, can you swap the blue bike for a donkey? The blue bike. Oh, you mean the other bike for a donkey? Why, Vole? That's just weird. For a donkey. I don't know.
Yo, Sploosh, as far as you hear, may I, offend you with another question? Don't you mind?
Oh yeah, I live to be offended. Go for it.
Yeah, so the stuff was about, that, Judith and milking stuff. Like, you've seen, that, the arguments I've sent, like, yeah, DC said that it would be hard, to move Judith to the barn for, instantly, but I've heard that you have some big plans for dating system, right? Like the mechanics when you invite the character to locations the character doesn't belong to for one night or one evening, and then the character comes back, right?
Yeah.
So could you use these mechanics for Judith? Like just, potentially.
You're talking about the barn and the milking, right?
Yeah. I mean, just she doesn't need to, to stay there like Diane or Daisy all the time.
Maybe, but
Like
the problem is that, like, listen, for characters to be able to move to different locations and be temporarily taken out of certain situations or locations or events, right? Depending on dialogue options and things that you've chosen for them, that stuff, I think we would rather have that happen at the end of their story when their story's done, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
So you're saying, like, he's basically asking, like, when Judith's story is done, why can't we just have her as an option be in the barn and be breedable / milkable, right?
The point is just, to have it for one-time thing. Like, you asked her, she agreed, like, you had the content, and then she comes back, like, to her original schedule and so on. Like, when the original schedule will be done, of course. Like,
Jab, I'm not sure Spoosh is still here.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just, I don't want to interrupt anybody.
yeah.
Okay. He's asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. It's something we've talked about doing, and maybe that will come to fruition, and you'll be able to be like, oh, it'd be cool if I could take this character to the barn and milk her. And so you can just be like, hey, I have a job for you, and you take her to the barn and milk her, and then she's there for a day, and then she leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we could do, but is that more desirable to see that than it would be to have a dedicated character at the barn that gets a bunch of different scenes and we can go deeper with it, and maybe you get a bunch of different positions with her, as opposed to a whole bunch of characters that can go, but it's just one scene with them and it's like copy pasta, kind of like we have right now with Daisy and Diane, where they both have
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, what would be more desirable? Like, I lean more towards having a dedicated character there that you can explore deeper with.
Deeper.
Okay, thank you for answer. Yeah, I start to understand, like, your point, guys.
Why don't we wait until Judith's update has actually been done? Yeah, exactly. I think that's my main thing against that. It's just that wait till she's done, and then we can be like, all right, this could work, this can't work, like, this is okay, this is not okay, Let's just wait a bit.
A lot of people really want Judith there. Like, a lot of people.
There was a lot of foreshadowing about that.
Is it just because DC put a cow in her locker? Like, is that...
Not only.
I wonder if it's maybe because she has the giant titties, the biggest titties in town.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not just, the size of her titties, but like everyone around her, like her schoolmates and so on, have a thing on it. Like the Judith have, very sensitive and big, breasts, and she, cares about it so much. So it just need to be developed somehow.
Listen, let poor Jab milk Judith already, okay? That's all he wants, okay?
Okay.
He's not asking for anything else. He just wants to milk her giant, jugs, okay?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stand in the way between Jab and his fantasies.
Are you happy, Jab? Is that better?
Yeah. Now I can, now I can sleep, very, you know.
Now you can dream about Judith.
Yeah. Now I can, you know, blow out and okay, fine. Now I'm satisfied.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I will have no more nightmares
Yeah.
about I will have, you know, no Judith milking content ever.
So what was the donkey idea thing? Why can't I make this bike? What was the blue donkey about? I mean, the donkey? Vole, what did you say? Vole said something about donkeys, I don't know.
Maybe he was talking about the donkey girl.
A blue donkey would be funny. Instead of a bike? Yeah, but it have to be two bikes, no? Vole being drunk is what that was about. Oh, Vole is a little tipsy. Ah, okay. What color is the other bike?
What if instead of two bikes, it was just two donkeys, and you like the game is you race donkeys?
We could. I think it should be green.
It will be
no?
the copy paste of, you know, the bull, right in the bull mini game in the bar. Doesn't it?
Fast donkey. Well, I already drew the bikes, guys. Like, should I do a green bike? I think so, maybe.
Lush, have you seen the Sopranos serial?
Only bits and pieces.
Oh, okay. Have you noticed, like, all that Italian criminals call themselves with the short versions of the names? Like, the guy, you know, is called Christopher, and everyone, even, you know, his mob's friends call him Chrissy. The guy, you know, his full name is Antonio, and everyone calls him Tony, and so on.
Okay.
So maybe that could, you know, also work for the Russians, because the Russians have the same thing. Like Dmitry, for example, is the full name, and, you know, in 90%, like, his friends would call him like the short version, like Tony for Antonio, and so on.
See you, Mr.
Maybe
Man.
that will work. Yeah, maybe that will, you know, help you. I don't know.
What's the short version of Dimitri?
Dima.
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 Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it will, you know, will be more believable, I think. But when they call each other like the full names, they look like not like, you know, original Russians, but they look like how Americans see Russians.
Stray, the problem is that, like, I want to give some breathing room to some of the machines so that there can be other machines in between them that are like filler machines. If I make it too wide, I think it's okay. I don't think does it really need to be wider? Like, usually they're pretty close like that, you know? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Branch, it is. But it's still, you know, like the short version of Sergei, it's not only like it's longer, but it's, you know, also sounds softer, like diminutive. It's very, you know, kind and nice version, like Seryoza. Yeah. It's like very soft and kind, you know, nice one. Or, for example, if you're, you know, you can also say Seri, like this the copy paste of the gray, like the same meaning, but it also looks like the first or the short version of Sergei.
Sergei.
Yeah.
Zdarov.
Zdarov. You remember how to sell I love you all? You remember your own homework?
Люблю.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it's been a while since I said it.
Like, I love you all, that would be like, я вас всех люблю.
Я вас всех люблю.
Okay, A+, take your seat.
Okay, that was bad, I know, okay.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. You're being nice.
Yeah. Especially was, you know, pretty good for the person like because who's native maybe not native, but like as you, but you're a native French speaker,
Yeah.
but you get used to English language and the Russian, or I don't know about all the Slavic languages. For example, West Slavics, but for example, when I talk English, for example, 2-3 hours in a row, I just feel my muscles get tired because when you're pronouncing classical English or American pronunciation, like you use the corner of your mouth or the corner of your tongue and lips, you pronounce all the sounds like in this area of your mouth. But when you're talking like classical Russian, it's more like when the sound appears like in your throat, like in the middle of your mouth.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why Russian maybe sounds rough, like well, to the person who is not familiar with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for example, if you like put the pronunciation like on the spectre,
Uh-huh.
like on the one hand you will have like English, for example, maybe other languages, but I'm not the polyglot. Maybe there are some more of that. When you pronounce the sounds like in the corner with the corner of the lips, like in the middle there would be Russian, and like on the other side of the spectrum there would be Mongolian, for example. Do you know that Mongolian singing when they
Yeah.
use like the deep throat and so on?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so for example, that's why classical Russian accent when you talk English is so heavy, because just Russian person who is not familiar with the good English pronunciation, he just keeps going to produce sounds with with the way he just get used to, like deep in his mouth. So that's why Russian accent is so heavy.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you start to realize that, for example, when I'm talk Russian, I usually don't have my mouth and my face muscle tired. But when I talk English, like
You
2
get-
hours in a row,
get tired?
I just feel I need to massage my face because it's tired. Yeah, really, because I don't use these muscles very much like in real, like in everyday life. So, but
Very strong English mouth muscles.
you're exactly right, my friend.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go soon, Jab. But it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for invitation. It was really kind to hear you and talk with the guys.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, have
Always
a good night.
fun to hear from Jab.
I think
Thank
Sploosh is being sarcastic, but it's okay. Sploosh has had a
No,
long
I'm
day.
not.
Yeah.
No, Jab is great to listen to on stream. I like Jab on stream. Of all the people you bring on, I like Jab the best.
All
Completely
right.
honest.
yeah, I bet like you like my documents and suggestions and all.
Not so much,
that
no.
messages that flood you every day. You like them more. I bet.
All right. See you, Jab.
Yeah. Thank you for invitation. See you next time.
All right. Bye, Sploosh. Thanks for.
Всем пока.
Всем пока. Bye, Sploosh.
See you, everybody.
Okay. Where's the gun game? Oh, it's invisible right now. It's gonna come back though. See you, Blitz, Ryu, YT, YouTube. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a little bit more of this and then I'm gonna go. Good talk, Jab. Yeah, it was a good talk. Whenever I have like questions about Eastern Europe, I always bring Jab on. See ya, Draga. Why is that? Okay, this is the power machine. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Should I do this? The Russian vampire. Wait, aren't vampires a Romanian thing? Or Hungarian thing? I don't remember now. One of the two, right? What are vampires again? Can keep too many is how many? Escape from jail? Uh-oh, maybe. Wallachia? By the way, Vlad means owner or keeper. Oh, does it? Vladimir. What about Vadim? What does Vadim mean? Vadim. Vadim. Isn't Vadim short for Vladimir? I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe. Could be. Vladimir Vadim. This is city of Vladivostok you saw on map today. Near Korean border equals Vlad plus Vostok. East owner. Ah. Da. Alright, see ya, David. Enjoy your shit. You go and enjoy that bullshit, right? You go and have yourself a jolly time. Okay? I kind of want to make this thing a different color, but... Yo. Does that look like a Yoshi egg? I'm trying to give this a pattern, but it's starting to look like a Yoshi egg or some shit like that. Yoshi? Yeah. The like Mario thing. Hey, Butosin? Maybe, yeah. Kumpi? No, I think it's gonna be a mini game where you shoot like pieces of clothing off girls. I wish I was joking, but I think that's what we're gonna do. Alright. I think that's what we're gonna do. Dino. Yeah. We're gonna destroy eggs. Maybe the egg thing is a bit weird, no? I have to think of something else here, I think. Canto. Hold on. México, ¿qué pasa? You like the Yoshi egg? Yeah, maybe I'll bring it back. Hold on. I'm just trying to think if there's something better that we could come up with. But... we're gonna have to do the score in here or something. Make it look like a ball sack. Maybe we could do that. It's for later, Fast Hands. It's top secret, but it is for later in the game when we add more content. It's just not in the game yet, but it will be. I promise you. It will be in the game, I promise you. should the ball thing look like a boob? I don't know, actually. Maybe it should look like a boob. Should we make it look like a titty? Oh no. It's too much, right? Too much. Punching a boob. It's a little violent, is it? Look straight. Look. If we make this look like a titty. Oh no, DC. If we just do this. Alright, okay. We're not gonna do the boob. Fine. It's a little weird. Punching a boob. Yeah. It's a little... I don't know. It's a little strange, right? Thinking of doing like a lightning bolt that goes all the way. I don't know. Make it a ball sack. Come on. Yeah, but how do I make it look like a ball sack? Like the only way to make it look like a ball sack, I have to make it look kind of wrinkly with a lot of hair on it, and that's just weird. It's just like it's like too much. You know, it becomes like a little bit too much. It's a little gross. No? One ball, like just one giant testicle. It's a little weird. Right? But too much. Casa Babylon. Babylon? Casa Babylon. Yoshi egg for the win. Yeah, I might go back to the Yoshi egg. I don't know. Just a simple punching bag, DC. I mean, jeez. Maybe just something like that, right? Yes, now you gotta make it a scrotum shaped punching bag, DC. Oh, okay. Please skip this Mexican trash. Wow. Pogona. A little bit offensive. And he says Guatemala, okay? Ritmo, I heard. Ritmo. Cuba? Oh, I gotta go, guys. Okay, well, at least I kind of advanced a little bit. We did some Daisy art, and I made some progress, you know, with the arcade. Not a lot, but some, you know. I might work on these backgrounds off stream just to get them, like, because there's so much detail. It's almost like it takes too long, like with just the streams if I work on them just on the stream. So I might have to work on them off stream a little bit just to get them along a little faster, you know. We'll see. Viruela. Cuba? This Guatemalan trash. Why are you such a hater, bro? Here. Some reggae? It's okay, Jab. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for another stream. Continue doing the arcade and bowling stuff. And then we have to do the central piece where all the 2 workers are going to be and all that, where you can buy tickets and all that. So there's still quite a bit to do background-wise for this location. But like I said, I might work a little bit on them off stream. So. Yeah, enjoy yourselves, guys. Thanks for watching, supporting, being patient for those who are. I know there's a lot of you that are not, but it's okay. And I'll be back tomorrow for another stream, all right? Bye, guys. Bye, Jab. Bye, everyone.